Okay, hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Watch Darius TV. Back with another review, and this one is of the Handmaid's Tale season 5, episode 4, Dear Offred. If you like anything Handmaid's Tale, like, comment, subscribe, share this video, leave a comment, all the other stuff like that. If you're a fan of the Handmaid's Tale, I'll be doing a review of the whole entire season. And so let's begin. All right, so this episode was interesting. Really, you can feel the tension in each scene of this episode. The episode starts with June pushing her baby Nicole on a swing, and then some woman walks up, and she just knows everything about her. This woman is definitely a supporter of Serena, we can tell, and this causes June to lash out at this woman. Now it's beginning to get to a point where everything from Gilead is beginning to slowly bleed into Canada now. So now June is still not really able to escape, even if she didn't even want a war with Serena. She's going to always have her influence somewhere through these people. So we see that in this episode. June and Luke, they talk about this to, like, I think a therapist they were at, talking about the whole ordeal and a crazy situation. And you can tell June is just ready to really just tear Serena apart. Mark suggests Serena change her mind about staying in Toronto, but she decides that she wants to stay here and set up shop. So, yeah, this clearly didn't really go well for her that much in this episode. But yeah, Mark goes to June's house about Hannah, and he says that Serena is now in Toronto. So she is now in their space. Luke tells him to, leave. He's mad because Mark, I guess, wasn't able to help them the way they wanted to, but Mark says that Serena has no power there. She has no power here in Toronto. Mark says June had pretty much unrealistic expectations when it comes down to dealing with Serena, and they just basically get mad at him and curse him out, and take all their hatred out on Mark. But what can he really do? He can't really overextend himself, or he might possibly catch one in the head. So, um, you know, they realize their plans. They got to think of some new stuff. Clearly, June digs up her gun, which reminds me so much of if anybody ever seen The Walking Dead. I think it was like the beginning of season 4. Rick was like digging. He was doing, I think, gardening. He like dug up his gun or something like that. That's what that scene kind of reminded me of a little bit. But she digs up guns so she can go and find Serena, so she can just take care of her herself because she's getting really sick and tired of her. The gun is completely jammed from being under snow and dirt. But she decides to go see Serena and sees her through a window and just stares her down. Basically, just you can feel the tension that they really want to get at her. Serena's bodyguard says that he'll keep her safe and all those stuff like that. He can't really stop June from just driving across the streets or whatever like that. But you can feel the tension. It seemed like Serena is slightly regretting her decision, but she's too arrogant to admit it. Then Luke says the community. Then Luke, June goes back home, and her and Luke talk about Serena, and he thinks the idea of getting the community to shut down Serena, and talks her out of trying to kill Serena. So she knows that she'll end up being tossed in jail. So Luke decides to pull some type of plan or whatever to find other solutions to bring Serena down. Jenny is struggling to walk after being poisoned, and she's sort of getting help to walk from Lydia. Jenny asks about if Esther's okay because she feels sorry for her, but Lydia says that she got what she deserved, and which is weird because she's supposed to be the holy one. She was just praying in the previous episode, but now she's saying that you know Esther got what she deserved. You know what I'm saying? About her being in a coma, and then Jenny has to call Lydia out because it's like, well, look what you've done to the girls. You disfigured me. You took one of my eyes out. So, how are you to really, say that what she deserves when you're a byproduct of all this stuff happening to begin with anyway? So that sort of ends up getting the wheels and Lydia's head sort of turn like, maybe I need to probably change up my ways because that is what she prayed for so Jenny can get out of her coma. So now Lydia sees that she has to sort of change the way that she, treats these handmaids. Serena is able to. Serena isn't really able to quite spread what she wants in Gilead. I mean, she's not able to sort of spread what she wants. The Gilead rules throughout Canada as easily as she wanted. She has all these invitations and She's hearing that certain people are not down with this, so it's not as easy for her to spread her influence throughout Canada. She ends up talking on the phone with Lawrence about June, about how June basically is really trying to get at her and gives her a few words of encouragement. And, Lawrence does what he does, sort of very nonchalant about everything because, if it doesn't affect him, he doesn't really care. Moira gives June an invite that says Offred on it, sort of like a slap in the face. She knows her name is June, but she decides to still call her by her technically slave name, and gives her an invitation to know more about Gilead, and as she was trying to influence Canada to adopt Gilead's rules. And let me see, June says she's and then like I said, June definitely is able to notice that she's trying to bring Gilead to Canada. So that's the whole another thing with this episode. She's trying to bring that here where she's at. So even when June tries to escape Gilead, she's bringing all the stuff from America to Canada. So June is never able to fully escape Serena. Moira tells June that they will have to follow the rules. Serena isn't worth losing her family over. June was trying so hard to kill Serena, and now she's like, yo, you got to really think this stuff over because she's not worth you losing your family over, which is totally right. So June definitely knows she's got to think of dealing with Serena in another type of way. While Serena sends invites, Luke comes to visit her, and Luke says he can have her place shut down from all the different problems going on and different little small petty things just to get the place shut down. He says that June will kill her, and he suggests that or she can help her get their child back, Hannah / Agnes, or whatever name she goes by. She can end up helping them get their daughter back. Serena even suggests that Nick support, and then Serena decides to hit a low blow and says that when June was in Gilead, that she got some type of support from Nick. I'm guessing she's trying to suggest that maybe not necessarily, but maybe she's trying to suggest that June was sleeping with Nick, and of course Luke gets teary eyed when he hears this, but I don't think that's what. Maybe that's not what she was exactly saying, but it sounded like she was trying to suggest that. But I don't even think Serena even knows that, most likely. But yeah, so that whole scene basically was showing more attention that Lucas really hates Serena as much, but he's thinking of it a more logically way. He can't just straight up attack her. So they're definitely setting up some battle lines in this episode. Let me see. And then let me see. Lauren suggests the handmaids clean up their act for the world because Gilead is trying to show their values and their views on Handmaid to the world. And Lauren suggests, they sort of make these handmaids look more together and show that everything, their way of, Gilead is the right way for the rest of the world. And Lydia wants a new program. Lydia wants to limit the handmaids' interactions with the husbands and wives, so to not just only have them interact when they have to procreate, and that's about it. Lawrence completely disagrees with this and tells her to just basically control the handmaids a lot better without being abusive. Like I said, Lawrence doesn't seem to really care as much. He's just so nonchalant about everything. He just doesn't care. But Lydia definitely is trying her hardest to be able to make life better for these women. Even though she's made their lives hell for years, she's trying to turn over a new leaf in a way. Some women argue with Serena's. Okay, so then there's a scene where outside of Serena's building, some of the women are arguing with some of the followers of Serena. And then one guy says to one of the women, he says something like a man needs to be in charge of them. And he starts screaming and yelling at all of them. Then he ends up just punching Moira. And then June ends up pulling a gun on him. So this whole scene was crazy. The only problem I have with that scene is one of the things that they do in The Handmaid's Tale that kind of bothers me a little bit is that any male character is like a misogynist. They have to almost make him kind of cartoon-like. I just feel some of it feels a bit unrealistic. This man is like, oh, you're women. Somebody needs to control you. Some of it feels a bit over the top, misogynistic. It just sometimes it feels it feels kind of forced. Like they try too hard to make the male character be as misogynistic as possible. I think it sometimes feel a little bit forced at times. Sometimes I also feel the same thing about some of the feminism in the show. It feels a little bit for it feels kind of forced. I know they have a message, and I'm all for women empowerment writing in TV shows, but sometimes it feels a little forced at times. With sometimes with the dialogue, it just I don't know. It feels kind of forced. Like they try too hard to make some of the feminism be, you know, I can't explain. Like they try too hard to make it a message instead of just explaining. Just I can't even really explain it though. But it's just it feels like he's tried too hard sometimes for the show. I understand this character was supposed to be just a complete a hole, but you know, him just screaming, "Somebody needs to control you, women," and then I'm just gonna punch this woman. It's just like it was like he was being almost over the top misogynistic. But this is my opinion. So after this whole scene happens, June was about to kill the guy, but then her husband talks him out of it, and then they run off, and then they end up having a scene where these two finally meet, Serena and June. And June was almost close to putting one in Serena, but she decides to not do it after she sees that this woman has a child. So she decides to sort of lead with fear. She wants Serena to be afraid of her, I see in this episode. So clever move. Even though when most people are scared, they do a lot of crazy stuff. So it may not necessarily be a good idea for June to be doing that. So let me see. Then after all this, Lydia wants Jenny to help look over the other handmaids to make them, feel better and stuff like that, show more kindness. So Lydia, wants to be able to get some type of help from Jenny to understand these women better, to help her out. And, Jenny doesn't really trust her, but it seemed like they might possibly work together. The handmaids definitely do not trust Lydia. So when Lydia drops off Jenny back to where the handmaids are at, the handmaids sort of sit on their beds. And then once Lydia leaves, they sort of embrace her and make Jenny feel comfortable again. Luke gets a call that Serena is homeless now. So they basically sort of took her out of her big building she was at. And it feels like Luke and June, they sort of happy about their sort of win that they got in this episode. So, they decide to have sex. So, I mean, that's about it with that storyline, I guess. Serena ends up going into a new home, and this woman that owns the home sort of embraces her, and they sort of treat her almost like a goddess. I get the feeling that June most likely seems to not June. Serena seems like she might be regretting moving to Canada. She feels really uncomfortable. Maybe she can't accept all this power that she's being given, but something she feels uncomfortable about everything that's been going on in this last episode. I think she regrets it, but she's scared now. She's scared of June, and that's how that is. And in that process, June burns her invitation as if she was ever going to go to that anyway. Burns her invitation she got from Serena, and the episode ends. So, man, I don't know much I can say about when it comes down to predictions I have of this episode, but you can tell the tension is really building up. I didn't see the previews, so I have no idea what's going to happen in the next episode. But this was a crazy one. I love the tension building between the two. Like, you can just tell that, June really wants to get at Serena badly. I like that. And everyone was really expecting Lydia to turn over a new leaf, so that's interesting to see from her. But yeah, this was a crazy episode. I can't really think of too many predictions, really, but yeah, it was a good one. If you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, share the video for all things Handmaid's Tale, and thank you for watching my video on Watch Darius TV.